Yes, hello everyone, this is Jim Lee. I'm the co-publisher of the DC Universe. My fellow publisher, Dan Didio, could not be here, as this is his regular weekly time to scare children. I would like to announce that following the cancellation of his latest batch of books, Rob Liefeld will now be writing and drawing the entire DC Universe catalog. This is, of course, the greatest cost-cutting measure in history, and has pleased my evil overlords at Time Warner. Now, if only we could put out a good movie starring somebody besides Batman. Ha 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 ha. For most, the idea of writing and drawing 52 titles would be an impossible quest. For Rob Liefeld, who relishes battle sequences and slaps images down on a page with nary a thought for proportion, it becomes an impossible question. What to do with the other 23 hours in the day. I want to reiterate my utter trust in Mr. Liefeld and state categorically the rumor that he's blackmailing me over some indiscretion in our past together at Image Comics is utterly, utterly ridiculous. Although anyone wondering whatever happened to Jim Valentino should direct their questions to the La Jolla PD's Missing Persons Department. I now turn over the mic to Mr. Rob Liefeld. Hi everyone, welcome back to Comic Book Issues. I'm your host, the Last Angry Geek. Now, there's no doubt that Rob Liefeld is a controversial figure. One of the first true superstar artists of the 1990s, he helped found Image Comics, but also suffered a backlash for his unrealistic art style. For more information about that, watch the opening credits of Atop the Fourth Wall. With Rob's recent rise in the ranks of DC Comics, he's decided to relaunch all of his older, cell-phoned properties. But unlike these titles' original launches, he's letting people who don't draw exactly like him take over the art on the books. In fact, most of the artists and writers are from the independent scene, and this is their highest exposure to date. Which brings us to Glory. Glory made her first appearance in Youngblood Strike File No. 1, a retired Golden Age heroine now working with the government. This pinup appeared in the issue. That's it. That's literally all I know about Glory. I guess Alan Moore tried to relaunch the character like he did Supreme, but never got beyond one issue. So, somehow, after 22 issues, the book expired and is now being relaunched with issue 23. Glory number 23 opens with a flashback. A great battle led by a demon fighting a warrior woman. You can tell she's a woman because of her long hair. Eventually, a little albino is born, ending the war between the two tribes. Jump ahead, and teenage Gloriana, now about 500 years old actually, is having it out with her mother. All her life she's been trained to rule in peacetime or to fight to end a war, but has chosen a third option, Earth, a place she's always dreamed of going. She armors up and arrives on Earth just in time to beat up some Nazis. She reinforces that she's not fighting on behalf of the good old US of A, but because this is what feels right to her. We're then introduced to Riley Barnes, a young lady who since the age of 7 has been dreaming about Glory. Every night, a dream about Glory's life. She uses this strange obsession to funnel a desire to find out whatever happened to the legendary superheroine. As World War II winds down, Gloriana gets some one-on-one FaceTime with none other than Supreme, Alan Moore's favorite Superman substitute.
Hello, Wakers. This is Alan Moore, your god. At no point did I give Brian Harns permission to use my name on comic book issues, and if he doesn't stop using my name, I'll sue him. I don't like seeing my name on movies or TV. I don't even want to see it on an internet TV show. What I want is for this not to happen. This is Alan Moore. Sod off!
Supreme recognizes that Glory is the second most powerful superhuman on the planet, and that worries him. She doesn't respond to authority well. She tells him that her parents' races are so advanced that humanity used to call them gods and demons. She's here to do what's right, and no one, certainly not Supreme, will tell her what that is. She tells him she appreciates his concern for the greater good, but knows he won't stop her. We cut back to Riley. She spent years searching for the literal woman of her dreams, with no luck. Riley is now on the sparsely populated French island of Saint Michel. At the local bar, she meets a fellow American, Gloria West. Gloria features a prominent scar across her throat and whispers she knows why Riley has come. Glory admits she's part of a group that planted clues that would lead Riley to them. They knew she was coming. We cut back to Glory and her mother, who's berating her decision to live as a human, but concedes it's her choice. Cut to Gloria, the waitress, who, like Riley, experienced Glory's life. Glory was apparently residing in Gloria's mind, and the two shared a sort of fused existence. One day it stopped. Gloria presumed that Glory left our world. Like Riley, she tried to find the heroine but couldn't. It wasn't until 5 years later that a weak connection was reestablished. As she's led into an old house, Riley catches a momentary glimpse of something sinister looking. Gloria eventually arrived in France and was attacked by monsters and had her throat slit. She survived thanks to mysterious friends and found Glory. Riley asks if Glory helped her. It's then Riley is ushered into a bedroom where a beaten and broken Glory lay. Gloria tells her Gloriana is broken and she's afraid that whoever did this is coming back. Say what you will, but Rob Liefeld took a bold move in turning over his dead properties to a bunch of indie artists and writers. In this case, Glory is written by Joe Keating and drawn by Ross Campbell. But how did this Amazon stack up? Well, you know what I mean. Issue number 23 is obviously a sort of zero issue. We're just getting Glory's origins and being introduced to her supporting cast of Gloria and Riley. It touches on what was established before. Gloria is half Amazon, half demon. She fought in World War II and knew Supreme. Beyond that, things get a little weird in suggesting she forms a sort of Billy Batson Captain Marvel symbiosis with people by living in their minds. Incidentally, Gloria West, the waitress, was part of the short-lived Alan Moore revamp. She was Glory's secret identity. But it's Riley and Glory we spend the most time learning about. Glory comes across as both cynical and naive, fed up with a long, unfulfilled destiny, and yet full of optimism that she can influence the human race for the better. There's also a nice arrogance that works for her, which we see when she blows off Supreme. Riley, however, comes across as desperate. She needs to understand her connection to Glory and faces it head-on rather than letting it destroy her. But, after searching without success for so long, she's lost her enthusiasm but still can't quit the search. Campbell's art is very stylized. It kind of reminds me of Jeff Darrow's or James Stokoe's of Orkstein. He draws Glory not as a Wonder Woman pinup model, but as a solid mass of muscle with almost no curves, a complete 180 from the character's previous look. My one complaint is that he draws Riley like she's 15. Her face looks a little too young. This also happens with Glory in her first few pages, but she's meant to be portrayed as young when it happens. The coloring is a bit duller than I'd like, but that does help convey a somber mood. My real problem with Glory is there's no real hook. There wasn't anything that made me want to pick up the next issue. I mean, the main hook is something tougher just beat up our really tough heroine. That's every Superman story ever. I guess we're supposed to be intrigued by the monster living in Glory's house, but I just presumed that it was one of Glory's demon relatives who helped save her from the big bad. If we had a more solid taste of who or what the villain is, or even a better feel for Glory's symbiotic relationship with the ladies, then it would raise the intrigue factor and make me want to read more. Now, I found it interesting that they stepped away from Rob Liefeld's original aesthetics, but they've more or less left the character's origins intact. What I saw and read was okay, not great. I give Glory, number 23, 2 out of 5 stars. I might check out a few more issues to see if they can draw me in, but if they don't, this one is no keeper. I'm the Last Angry Geek, and I'll see you next time here on Comic Book Issues.